What's going on, everybody? This is Lika Kenobi here, and today we have an article from yesterday, and it's rumored that Concord reportedly cost $400 million to develop. That does not include the cost, what it costs Sony to purchase developer Firewalk Studios. So this this is bad for Sony. It's bad. I mean, man, they really put themselves in a bundle here, in a big bundle here. So let's go. Rumor from Colin Moriarty, the host of Sacred Symbols, claims that Firewalk Studios Concord, which was shut down around 2 weeks after it released, cost $400 million to develop. Moriarty detailed in a video upload on X that he spoke extensively with a Concord insider who informed him that Concord cost about $400 million to make. He went on to reveal that Probably Monsters, the original owner of Firewalk Studios and Concord before selling to PlayStation Studios, Sony and the game's original investors had spent $200 million on the game before it even made it to its alpha state. Moriarty said up to the point of the game went to alpha state, they had already spent $200 million on it. And it's unclear how much of that money is from Probably Monsters and the original investors into the game, and how much of the start of that was from Sony. Next, he shared when the game had $200 million spent on it, and it was basically in the alpha form in Q1 of 2023. From the point until the game launched, Sony spent another $200 million on it. The situation, though, the scuttlebutt behind the scenes about Concord is that the game was in a laughable shape when it was shown. Basically, when the alpha was ready to go, he continued, it was in such horrible shape that Sony felt they needed to spend that much money again. So 200 plus 200 to get the game to the MVP status, not just to the status of it being a great game, to get it just viably. The major expense was to urgently outsource much of the game to other studios to finish building the game out, he shared, and that two fundamental games were not worked on at all up to the point in which the game was shown in alpha onboarding. Nothing about that. There was nothing about how players make their character, all that kind of stuff, or choose their character and get there. And monetization, two very expensive, very specific and boutique things that happen to games like this. Later in the video, Moriarty claimed that executives at Sony and specifically PlayStation Studios boss Herman Holtz were championing the game and believed the game could be their Star Wars. Yeah, sure. He noted that at Sony they were describing the game as future PlayStation, the future of PlayStation, that they had such major ambition for this game and that it was referred to internally as a Star Wars project for Sony, that it can be repeatedly revisited over and over and over again, not only in cross-media, but in what we were seeing. He pointed to the game being featured in Prime Video's upcoming secret levels, shows as well as the weekly story vignettes the developers promised. Next, he shared that there was a toxic positivity vibe. He stated, you weren't allowed to say anything internally about this game, about how something is wrong with it. The character designs are not right. They really truly believed this was Herman Holtz's baby, apparently, and he internally was himself a massive champion of the game. The idea that the game had a toxic positivity vibe rings true given a source close to Probably Monsters informed that Probably Monsters had been shaken to its core due to not only the game's failure, but to the extent that it failed. While the company and its employees have been shaken by the failure, one thing that is not shaken them, and they are not even acknowledging, is the game's embrace of woke ideology and diversity, equity, and inclusivity. This source also informed that Park Place that the company did indeed have discussion beforehand and about how heavy it would embrace woke ideology. As shown in the game's final product, it does not appear that dissenting voices were able to bring any reason to those wanting to insert the woke ideology. And now it appears executives want to bury their heads in the sand. If what Moriarty and his sources claim are true, Concord is an even more epic disaster than originally imagined, and appears to point to massive incompetence and managerial malpractice at Sony and PlayStation. Hey, they did it to themselves, man. They should have. Sony's got to be careful, man. Sony made a mistake. They should have never have went with a studio and try to encourage fans to get this game. You got to let the fans decide for themselves. And they should have seen it. Sony should have seen this. But, Sony right now, they have been, on the curve with this woke ideology nonsense. I mean, take Ubisoft, take Activision, and the games like Star Wars Outlaws is out already, in for the Sony, not just Xbox, but for PlayStation also. So they're in a hurry. And then also you got Assassin's Creed Shadows getting ready to come out. And that's going to be big trouble. So Sony needs to stop encouraging it. But they're going to learn sooner or later. We'll see. So let me know what you guys think about this article. So if you like the video, hit the like button. Share this video. Post a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for me. Alright guys, catch you later. Bye.